Hi everyone, I'm here at Home Depot and I am going to pick out some succulents for my centerpiece over by the pergola. How I normally do it that's more cost effective. I usually have one of those inexpensive planters, plastic planters, and if you come to Home Depot and you see some of these plants that are already potted, this one is $14.98. And let's see, but if you bought them individually, it's way more expensive. So like you see these little tiny ones, or these little quarts, they're $11.98 each. And even these itty bitty ones are $3.98 and $4.98 each. If you would just go ahead and get one of these larger centerpieces that are very large and full, see how and they grow actually really quickly. So I'm going to show you I'm going to get one of these. I'm going to show you what I do when I get home with it. So that particular one is large and full with several really pretty varieties of succulents in it. It's $24.98. And if I would probably pay twice that price if I tried to, or 3 times that price, if I tried to get the larger sizes and put them in the pot with that many varieties. So I'm going to grab one of those I showed you for $24.98, which is way more cost effective and just already beautifully arranged and full, and put it in a pot and show you how it turns out as a really kind of a pretty modern centerpiece. Looks very similar to what you'd see in Restoration Hardware. They're faux ones that they have in their catalogs. So yes, my cost-effective tip here is get these larger, pre-arranged here at Home Depot that cost $24.98 instead of picking up all these little individual ones that are a fraction of the size for $3.98. You can see they're teeny tiny by my hand, tiny, to try to put in a pot and have a beautiful centerpiece in the end. So I just wanted to give a little bit of a tip there. So I'm going to cut the video off here, get home, get my supplies set up, and I'll show you what it looks like in the end, or you'll see me do it. Thanks, guys. Okay, I'm home now from Home Depot, and I have my few things I need. The succulent that I bought, the pot, the cheap, inexpensive plastic pot I'm going to insert it into with a little bit more dirt, and the black pot that I'll put it into, and the potting soil. So let me show you real quick what I've got. So I've got that succulent in the little shallow pot that I've got, the cheap, inexpensive plastic pot that will go into this more modern black clay pot. And this is a quick hack thing if you want to save some money. I saw a pot exactly like this in Austin, one of my favorite nurseries. It was an imported Italian pot that looked exactly like this for $110. I went to H-E-B here. If you're from Texas, you know there's H-E-B everywhere in every town. And they had a white, inexpensive clay pot, maybe from Mexico, but a very inexpensive. It was like $24. I got that pot. I came home and I had some black stain, Cabot's black stain left over from when I had stained my pasture corral. And I just rubbed stain all over it and turned it into kind of a matte black. And it's kind of got, you know, various shades of black on it, so it looks a little bit more aged, and it looks exactly the same. And I spent only $20 on the same pot that looked like the $110 pot. So that is a good idea if you want to just keep your eye out for inexpensive pots that resemble the really high-end pots at the high-end nurseries. And then the dirt I'm going to use is this just local all-natural potting mix that you can pick up at Home Depot. Sometimes I'll use the more expensive soils. At the higher-end nurseries, they have garden soil I usually like Happy Frog, which is usually $9 to $12 a bag. that I may mix in with some of my pasture dirt to improve the quality. But those are the 4 things I'm going to do right now. And I'm going to turn this camera around so that, or put it on a tripod or have somebody help me so that you can see me put it all together. All right, hold on. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is get that cheap plastic pot with my potting soil, and I'm going to put some in the bottom of the pot, about the depth I think that this shallow succulent pot is next to me. And I'm going to break up the clumps of dirt, and it's probably patted down real good to the depth I think it's going to be. And here in a second, I'm going to pull this other one out. So hopefully this goes well, but it's a succulent, so you shouldn't be too worried if they fall apart. You can still kind of just put it all back together. So kind of loosen it up. Here you see, oh, I can see here, they actually just have several little ones within it. So we're going to do this. And I'm just going to add a little bit more dirt since we're doing it this way, because they're not as deep as I thought. And the previous one, succulents that were in this pot, lasted 2 years. And the biggest problem people tend to do is overwater these succulents. This is in filtered light under the pergola on the coffee table, and I will water it thoroughly every 2 weeks, and they do great. They get very large. I'm just going to go by the same pattern that they had it in this pot. Like I said, you save a lot of money, and actually I think I'm going to have extra because my pot is a little bit smaller than their pot. So I'll just kind of pick the ones I like best, which I kind of like the bluish and the lime green ones best. Kind of matches the colors of the garden, the agaves. And the dirt will settle. Kind of want them to stick up a little. Just going to plug them all in there. Let's see. I think I want this big guy. If they break off, don't worry. And anything that breaks off, actually, you can stick in the ground and it'll take off as a brand new plant for you. So you get a lot out of these things. Actually, kind of debating if I want to keep that big one in there. Stick a couple of these little ones. Fill in the space. And as it grows, if it gets too full, just break it off. Not a problem. That's what I usually do to keep it all looking exactly how I want it. I'm going to lift it up a little and put some dirt in between. Kind of get them to hold into place. Once you water it in, it'll look all pretty again. I think I might break this one off. It looks a little too full. Just kind of clean it up how you want it. All of these I can stick in other plants, pottings in the garden. And then I'll water this in real good. And I won't water it again for a week to 2 weeks. So with good lighting, bright light, If it freezes real hard, which we don't have often in Texas, I will bring it inside if it's a hard freeze. Otherwise, I'll just throw a towel on top of it. But I would then just stick this right in here into this pot, water it in real good, and in a month or so, these will be getting bigger and bigger. Sorry everyone, didn't realize my battery was almost dead, so it cut out at the very end of me planting it in the pot. So I just wanted to show you the finished product, and it's just a really nice modern looking display or centerpiece for inside the house or outside on your lawn furniture or patio furniture, and it will last a long time. I'm all about low maintenance, so I hope this video helped you. Thanks, bye-bye.